Here we go again.
Welcome. This is the Anime Critique, the monthly show where two best friends and anime connoisseurs, Jamie and Shaq, talk about all things anime and manga.
Howdy.
On the last episode, we reviewed Vinland Saga. And we scored it 7 out of 10.
So
fair?
it's good. Just fair score. It's a
Fair
good anime.
score. And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about Golden Boy.
Hey, Golden Boy. Now, guys,
Golden
Boy is an interesting anime.
People might not have heard of Golden Boy.
It's a little bit... I say it's got a bit of a cult following.
It's got a cult following, but I wouldn't say it's mainstream.
Oh,
it's
no,
not
no,
like
no.
Vinland Saga. Vinland Saga has a bigger sort of mainstream following, and I don't mean that as a bad thing. When I say mainstream, I don't mean when all these like anime, like top anime guys hear the word mainstream. I don't mean that as a bad thing, guys. Don't worry. Like we like what we like.
Guys, we watch anything. We're not just like, oh, I only watch like fucking old ass animes from the 1980s on VHS. Like, we're not that much of a fucking. Like,
We will watch
dweeb.
those.
Like, we will watch them, but we're not saying we're not like exclusive to those.
But we
kind of
also
animes.
want to watch weird shit as well.
Yeah,
like
we wanna watch
Golden
weird
Boy.
shit. I want to watch a little Naruto and I want to watch a little bit of Golden Boy. But let me explain just a tiny bit of Golden Boy.
Yeah, give us a nice little summary of Golden Boy.
So there's our main character called Kintarou Ooe, and he's what we call a freighter, which in layman terms is just someone who does a lot of freelancing for all kinds of different kind of jobs. It doesn't matter what job it is. It could be just like painter,
Literally anything.
janitor, anything.
And we see this in the show.
Yeah. So he goes around just Japan, just around the country, just picking up any jobs. But it's his character and the situations he gets himself into during these jobs is what makes it really entertaining and hilarious. Because, you know, Kintarou's a bit of a pervert. He's a little bit of a pervert. You know, just to
100%.
put it lightly, he's a bit of a pervert. So,
And I would say each episode sort of follows the same type of formula.
yeah.
Not in the sense where it's boring.
It's not Scooby-Doo levels of repetitive.
No, it just sort of has. It's like, as you said, Kintarou. He has a job. It's usually he has a new job each episode, and then there's a beautiful girl, and it's sort of like he's like perving over the beautiful girl, and and then it's sort of she gets pissed at him, and then he does something really sweet that she finds out too late when he's gone, and then they fall in love with him.
Exactly. So it's a comedy,
Etchy,
and debatably a dash of slice of life, because there are little things that you learn from it.
I'll give you that. I'll say as well is Golden Boy, and I must put this out here. Both me and Shaq have watched the dub for this.
Oh, okay. So you didn't watch the sub?
I did not watch the sub, no. I was going to, but because this is so nostalgic for me, because it's something that we've laughed over watching together in multiple viewings,
man.
I couldn't bring myself to watch the sub. And again, sub purists out there, don't kill me. I'm a sub purist as well, but some stuff I can't watch. Sub, and this was one of them. I tried, and it just didn't feel right.
Okay, so you did try like episode 1 or something?
I tried episode 1, and I was like, I need to switch this to dub, because I'm so used to that Kintarou voice.
It's so goofy, guys. Like, obviously, like, you know how my stance on like dubs. Like, I
don't give a shit,
I don't
yeah.
really give a shit. If there's dubs, I'll watch it. If there's dubs, I'll watch it. Doesn't really matter.
But as I was saying, the narrator at the end of every episode, and again, this is in dub, he gives a perfect summary of the entire show, it sort of in a nutshell, and who Kintarou is. And I've got it here for you guys, and I will read it to you.
Let it go, boy.
So he goes, Kintarou Ooe, age 25. He withdrew from Tokyo University Law School, but only after he had already completed the requirements for graduation. Ever since, he has travelled the highways and byways of Japan, trying out new jobs and positions, and learning about life to the fullest. In tip-top physical condition and sparkling mental health, his hobby is studying the world around him, and perhaps someday he may be destined to save Japan, or even the world. Or then again, maybe not.
So, guys.
And that's at the end of every episode. And there's a few key points in there that we hadn't mentioned before. He loves studying.
Loves his study.
Like
what a common theme in like every episode is that he has a little handbook where anything sort of interesting to him, he'll write it down. For example,
his catchphrase, educational.
It is so educational. So you'll always say that. So it's a bit of a running joke.
And I think that's why he goes from sort of odd jobs like
Yeah.
because he goes into professions where he knows nothing about, and he learns a bit, and he just loves that. He loves to get knowledge, and I mean, it's in the purest form of it, it's quite a nice thing. Like, everyone should strive about this, like the pursuit of knowledge. It's
a healthy thing. You know what I mean?
It's quite a pure character trait for Kintarou. I mean, it goes left very quickly.
Oh, guys, like,
because you were talking about a common theme in each episode, with it being with the notebook. But one I don't know, I only ever noticed this in this time viewing, because I watched it all in one sitting, which I don't know if I've done before.
No, I don't know. Actually, yeah.
A common theme, which is ridiculously pervy, is the female sort of main character of each episode. He sort of always finds himself in a position of her, in front of her toilet, or a place where she goes to toilet. And he loves to just rub his face on the toilet. And his queen's throne. This is the place where she sits all the time. Where I think there's a where he says where her bare bum touches like the sea. There's only one episode that it doesn't do that in, and that's episode 4, which is the swimming one.
Oh yes. So guys, just to give you a little bit of a warning, it does get quite, hot and steamy.
Oh, it we were saying before we hit record on this, it's borderline porn in a way.
It's literally
on the nose.
It's on the nose. It toes the line between being like a proper, like an anime and a hentai. And so if you are watching it, don't watch it in public. Watch it in the comfort of your own home.
Oh, and adult only.
Yeah,
I don't want no children watching this.
Yeah, no kids. Come on, go to bed.
Because I'm not gonna lie. In episode 2, the one with the mayor's daughter, she's a schoolgirl. I don't know how old she is. They never ever say how old she is in the show.
Now,
and he's 25. We've established this. He's 25 years old.
Now, I know that. Now, I'm gonna put this out there, guys. So please correct me. I don't know if
laws are different out in Japan.
They are different. So, but I think it's like, so, guys. So I'm just gonna say this. I'm gonna preface this. Please correct me if I'm wrong. This is going off some old knowledge I looked on the internet. So put my hands up now. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I know that the age of consent in Japan is a lot different to the world. I think it's like between 13 to 17-year-olds can have sex.
Okay.
But I think like anything out of that range, you can like grope them or like touch them.
Okay.
Like I said, guys, I might be wrong.
Give us the knowledge, guys. We are Kintarou here. We want the knowledge. This is educational.
So this is so educational, but I think age of consent over there in Japan is a bit different. It's a cultural,
I would say
divide.
In every other episode they're all adult women.
Yes.
The only one that is a bit iffy is in episode 2. It's a schoolgirl. I don't know whether she's at the end of her schooling, or sort of like, I don't know if she's like a 17, 18 schoolgirl, or like a little bit. I'm going to assume it's on that higher level, of course.
Yeah, like, guys, like, imagine that one episode was probably just a drop of something like Kill la Kill. Like, if you ever watched Kill la Kill, I felt like the FBI was going to kick my door in every episode.
We should whack that for one of the episodes, maybe.
Maybe. I can't even like. It's a cool anime, but it was.
People love it.
It was, boy.
I know, with all the underpants and stuff.
Underpants and like the schoolgirl just in the skimpy outfits. I don't know if I want to watch all of that. But anyway, moving on.
Back to Golden Boy.
Back to Golden Boy. It's a very, very short anime. It's about 6 episodes.
It's exactly 6 episodes.
Exactly 6 episodes, pardon me. At first, both my co-hosts and I thought that it was just a little bit too raunchy for the public eye, which is why I didn't continue. But you just told me before we start recording is that it didn't really do so well. It wasn't really successful.
I read something very briefly this afternoon while I was looking up that quote. Actually, the one what the narrator gives at the end of each episode, and I very briefly read that it didn't do amazingly well, or as well as they thought it would do. So it just never got renewed for a second season. Which, I mean, fair enough. Things happen.
It's understandable. I think it's because, of course, when did Golden Boy come out, by the way?
I don't know.
Let's quickly
it's certainly in the 90s, I would say.
For sure.
And I think that sort of is a good segue to talk about this show. I mean, if you are a viewer who is more
1995 to 1996.
there we go, 95 to 96. If you're a viewer who's more in tune to more of the modern day animation style, this anime, I mean, it doesn't hold up well.
It's for its time, for sure.
It's for its time, 100%. I mean,
it hasn't appealed to me though personally, because I like
it does
the, like,
to me as
style.
well.
I do like
it. Kind of gives me like a Shin-chan vibe as well.
Yeah.
Like I kind of like I do like the style. It's kind of like pure. It's kind of what in my head when I think of anime, that's the kind of stuff I think of.
Yeah, it's retro, it's classic in the truest sense of the word.
I mean, I love it, but I could see why people would be put off it if they kind of saw it.
Yeah, I
from
think
the get-go, because I mean, the animation isn't bad, but it's not like you don't have like people doing like triple backflips and throwing power moves out and stuff.
So it's not a shonen, guys. It's not like an action sort of.
No, it's just a normal, as you said, sort of a bit slice of life.
That's just slice of life, ecchi comedy. So come with that in mind. Don't expect no power levels or like magical swords.
That's what I mean.
Like
it's
tournament art.
There's no the animation is for its time. I don't think it necessarily holds up for newer viewers today.
You know what it's like? I would definitely, like I say, it is a classic style, and I mean that
it's a classic style, but it's still a bit rough around the edges.
But here's what I want to add to that. So when I mean by classic, I mean that's something that you can go back to. It does hold up, but we have passed it in a different sense, where the style that we have now is more favorable.
I hear that.
But if I was to say something like it's outdated, then that's something you never want to go back to. That's something you've had your little.
I do think it teeters on the line of outdated of animation, though. It's sort of that early sort of Dragon Ball style as well.
Yeah.
But with ones like that, you can see the progression through the time, so you don't mind it too much. But this, because it's just 6 short episodes.
Think of Yu Yu Hakusho, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you guys, I don't know if you guys have watched you should if you haven't watched.
I mean, maybe we'll do that in a future episode.
Oh, I have to find some time to set.
It's a bit longer.
It's a bit longer.
We have to dedicate time for that.
Yeah, but guys, it's just classic style in my opinion. So
no, I do agree. I don't think if there's a younger audience, which if you're not. I cannot stress this enough, this is an adult anime.
Yes.
But if there is a younger audience watching this for the first time, because I know we were a younger audience watching this for the first time.
I think we were like 15, 16, because I remember...
I would say that's a younger audience.
Shout out to Alex, by the way. He did show me a clip, the infamous one where he's the swimming one.
We'll get to that. Yeah.
That's how I kind of got into that.
But I do think a younger audience might be put off by the animation, because I mean we have phenomenal animation. Like if we sort of drift back to previous episode where we were talking about Vinland Saga, who had quite
very
on point like animation. This is kind of the bit, if you were comparing it in a modern day, it's the opposite. But as you said, it's a classic style. There's nothing wrong with it. But it just feels a tiny bit dated. And I mean, if you can look past that, you'll have a fantastic time.
Yeah, exactly.
I do think the voice acting is maybe not necessarily for the main characters, but for some of the smaller characters is utter trash.
Okay, like give me some examples.
It just sounds off, like just like little. So in the first episode, Kintarou, he goes to it's sort of like a computer programming office.
Yeah. It's like
company. And the boss there is the female interest in this episode. Some of the girls in the office, their voices sound bad.
Well, you know what? I think because I knew they were just side characters. Didn't really.
Well, I know back then dubbing was a much bigger issue than it is now.
Yeah. Dubbing back then was hard as fuck because, like, guys, if I need to link you a video about just the issue of how Dragon Ball Z got dubbed in the UK, because there's like 3 different kinds of dubs.
Oh yeah, no, there's like Funimation, Ocean. There's another one as well.
It's weird.
Guys, let us know in the comments.
But it's fucked up. Like, they had Krillin sounding like Joe Pesci. It was mad.
This is what I mean. Like, that's why I don't think the dub is amazing for this. But again, if you can kind of look past,
it has its bright moments.
It has its bright moments, yeah. But if you can look past the flapping issue, which is the mouth movement, which is all over the place in this.
Yeah.
And some sort of laughable. There's I don't know which episode there is, but there is an old lady who's like a maid or something, and she has like a British accent, and it's obviously someone putting on a British accent. So it's kind of like, how you doing, love?
Oh my god. Yeah, you know what?
It's not great, but
It's like in Dragon Ball with they're in like the first tournament arc, and I think it was like a dude who happens to be from India.
Yeah.
And it doesn't sound.
It's what I mean. It's like, but I think you look past that, and I think the main characters are the sort of the focus of Kintarou, and sort of like certainly the female
leads are definitely
and
good.
then the sort of like the sort of few characters off them, because I know like in episode 3, I believe it is, when it's the Noodle Shop. Like you have like the bad guy,
the bad boyfriend.
I mean, the voice acting's fine for that, and then you have like the parents as well, and that's fine and everything. But I think if you can look past sort of like the older style, the classic style, and the bad dub, I mean, the sub might be fine. I mean, if you guys have watched the sub, let us know and tell us what you think.
Yeah, give it a shot.
The dub is not amazing, but it's sort of, as you said earlier, it is definitely, it has its place in time.
It has its bright spots. I think that
it still holds up today because it is funny. It's so tongue in cheek. It's so like sort of on the nose of sort of like being raunchy and a bit like porny, and then it's like it's funny.
So as you guys know, Japan's sort of stance on like sort of, you know, sexual themes and contents, it's a little different from like the Western world.
Quite a lot of censored stuff as well.
A lot of censored stuff, but we already know that. We already have if you are a fan of anime, you sort of have an idea that they are a little bit perverse in some instances within their content. But because Golden Boy is an adult anime, it's like, you know, the gloves are off, and there's a lot of things that they get away with, a lot of innuendos, a lot of, you know, imageries, a lot of, you know, there's sometimes some titties. You will see some titties. You'll see some anime titties.
Not necessarily outside of clothing. I was lost for words then, like I was flustered.
No, you do see some bare anime titties.
Do you? I do not remember
on episode 5, the motorcycle chick.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah, she had titties all everywhere.
Yeah, we'll get into that. I think what we'll do is in a sec we'll run down sort of what happens in each episode, and then we'll rank them as well.
Yeah.
Because I think for me, there's a clear best episode and there's a clear worst episode.
Okay. But we've got to talk about Kintarou's voice acting. Fucking phenomenal.
It's definitely a stereotypical kind of like voice.
Goofy. It's goofy. It's.
Do you know what I love about Kintarou the most? And I do like the voice. The English voice is great for it, but Kintarou is very well. Don't take this the wrong way. I think he's a very relatable character.
Yeah, he's like relatable, but at the same time,
he's a very perverted person, which we are not like that in our day-to-day. But his sort of, I meant like that.
No, I'm not out here like groping women or anything like that. Like, you know, I'd be horny, but I'd be horny in private.
You're not rubbing your face on toilet seats.
No. I'm not that down.
And
bad.
I mean, Japan have those fancy toilets as well that squirt. And even in the first episode, like he's got his eyes closed and he presses the button and it's like squirting in his mouth and he's loving life.
My queen, yeah.
My queen.
God damn.
And she walks in at that moment.
Yeah, that sort of happens a lot. They catch him just being an absolute freak show, and it's awkward. It gets very funny.
But I think he's relatable in the sense he's a normal guy. He's just going about doing these odd jobs. He's learning, and he's learning about life. He's learning about like how to like the noodle episode or the Noodle Shop episode I should say. He's learning how to make noodles.
Yeah, and it's mad interesting actually. Just a little fun fact. Do you know that the Japanese people, they saw pasta, you know, the Italians making pasta, and that's how they made noodles.
Yeah.
They appropriated it.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, it's interesting, and just see how they do that stuff. So that's what I mean by a little slice of life, where it's just got like how making noodles, programming, swimming.
It must be so funny because you're someone that understands all of that when they're talking about it.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I learned about basic.
I was like, fuck me. Basic? It's like this. I know this is like 1995.
Well,
like,
the girls are like that. They're like, nobody uses basic.
Basic? Wow. What are you fucking.
What did they say? We use
C-base.
C-base.
So I know C#. So I was like, C-base. I could probably do that. They'll work for them. But no, it was interesting. It was quite fun because it's actually.
I actually love the end of that episode when he makes the whole thing and it's just like, look how user friendly it is. That's what I mean by some of the voice acting is quite bad.
It's bad, but it's not like, oh, this is like grating to my ears.
No,
it's it's cheesy bad.
Yeah, it's
and I
very
like
cheesy.
That.
Yeah,
I love me some cheese. Like sometimes you gotta appreciate a little bit of cheese
and
in
it's
your
harmless.
media.
It's so harmless.
Oh, of course, man. Listen, man, guys, don't be like a grump or like I only watch smart anime for the smart man. No,
this
turn
is
your
fun.
brain off. Have some fun.
This is so fun that you can kind of just throw on while you're doing something else.
Yeah, I watched all of it while I was cooking. That's what I was doing. I just put my fucking Fire Stick iPad or whatever the fuck it is, put it in my kitchen. I was just cooking while watching it. Best time ever.
Yeah, it is fun. It's just fun.
It's a fun
and
anime,
you
man.
have a few laughs while watching it.
Yeah, like you don't sit up on your Twitter talking about in this arc. No, enjoy yourself. We're not here to debate power levels or backstory or anything like that.
It's a fun one.
It's a fun one. Just that's more or less I can put it in a nutshell. It's a fun anime. It's raunchy. It's cheeky. You know, it's occasionally like I think obviously as a grown ass man. Now that I look back on it, it's like, ooh, that was a bit on the nose.
Oh yeah, no, massively.
You know, oof. I don't know how they got that one past the censors, but ho hum, but whatever. But nah, it's cool.
Should we briefly run through each episode?
Yes, let's get into it.
And then we can just give a very quick sort of ranking of them.
Yeah.
So the first episode, which we've already hinted at before, Kintarou finds himself at a sort of a computer programming company, and he's sort of a janitor sort of thing at first, and the woman sort of interest, I'll say love interest in this, because he's infatuated with her. She hates him, but
she wears this like red skimpy dress, and you can see her nipples through the dress.
Her nipples through it, yeah.
Jesus.
And he deletes all their work by accident.
Yeah.
She's super angry at him. Then he gets fired, and then he somehow does months and months of work within a couple of days to a better standard than a team of
like 6 women, 7 women. Yeah,
all like programming around the clock, and he gifts it to them, and she falls in love with him.
Now, guys, I work in software development. Like, I do this every day. When I saw that, I was like, this guy is a fucking wizard, because it takes me fucking hours just to do some basic QA shit.
This is Kintarou.
Like, bruh, this guy.
I mean, and that's sort of the premise of the first episode, and in the second episode, you kind of have it's the schoolgirl one.
Oh yeah.
So this one's a little bit interesting. This one because she's forcing it on him a bit.
Yeah,
she's being a bit risky because her dad is the mayor, which is also implied that he's like a Yakuza boss as well.
Yeah, he has like connections to the Yakuza and whatever. And you guys should know the Yakuza. It's basically the Japanese mafia.
Yeah. So it's sort of implied that if he does anything to her, he's dead.
No, he's brown bread.
And she's sort of playing up to it, sort of like falling into his lap, pretending to be dizzy and stuff. And he's sort of he's sort of doing janitor work at the house, but he also starts tutoring her as well.
He's helping with the campaign.
He's helping with the campaign as well, because the dad is running. It's like a re-election.
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah.
And then she sort of finds out that he knows that she's acting.
Yeah.
Because she steals his diary and reads it. She then gets extremely pissed off, and then she rips her clothes and then screams. Her dad and about 20 other men come running in, and she's like, yeah, he attacked me. They beat the shit out of him, and he's like, oh no, I actually love her, I want to marry your daughter and everything. And she has the realization that he could have made excuses but didn't, and then falls in love with him. And then probably the creepiest line is at the end of the episode, when she goes to meet him as he's cycling away, and she's like, make sure you come back because I want you to take my virginity.
That is a very...
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, that is probably the most cringiest episode, that one.
It's cringy for sure. I think there was funny moments. Like,
there's funny moments in it because it's a really cool dynamic when she's trying to be like really sort of flirty with him,
he's just he's just doing the proper like typical anime. It's like he's like proper like.
Yeah, there's a bit where she's kind of getting changed and he turns around and there's a mirror there and she's like, I can see that you're seeing in the mirror.
Oh, I can't look at this. It's like my penis is rubbing against my jeans.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my lord.
Moving on to the third episode. The third episode, again, we've sort of mentioned before, is the Noodle Shop episode.
This one was a little bit less funny, but still retained this comedy.
I actually quite like this episode because it's a bit different from the first two. So Kintarou's working at a noodle shop where he's making noodles because the owner of the noodle shop has hurt his arm, so he cannot make noodles anymore. The noodle shop owner's daughter is sort of the central. I mean, he's not really perverted towards her at all in this episode.
He admires her. She's like, oh, she's cute, blah, blah,
and
blah.
knows that she's a respectable lady, very smart, very beautiful, very innocent girl. And then there's this man who comes in, and he was the one that took the dad to the hospital when he hurt his arm, because you find out it was a hit and run.
Yes.
And he's sort of putting his moves in on the girl because he says he loves her. Subsequently, you find out that he's like a Yakuza guy.
Yes and no. He's a bit of a gangster.
I think he has I think he talks about Yakuza stuff in the episode.
He said that he's training like he's like a black belt.
Oh, he says he's a fighter. Yeah.
And
so
then a bit dangerous.
And he's with he has a girlfriend, and he says, "Oh, I'm gonna marry the girl, take the noodle shop, then I'm gonna sell it off for whatever reason."
I think you wanted to turn it into like a
flats or something,
like a strip club or a gentleman's club or something like that.
And then Kintarou overhears this, but he's told that if he spills the secrets, he's going to get the shit kicked out of him. And then it's sort of like there's a really funny bit where they go horse racing. And he's trying to like put the guy is trying to put the moves on the girl, and he ends up kissing Kintarou.
Kintarou sneaked in. He's like in some costume.
He's in like a horse costume. And he's trying to like undo the girl's like trousers, and
zips it back up.
He zips it back up, and the guy grabs Kintarou's hand, and he ends up kissing Kintarou and everything. I mean, there's a really funny scene after that. When she comes into Kintarou's room and she goes, "Oh, are you okay, Kintarou?" And he's like white as a ghost. He's like, "I'm not feeling myself today." But then subsequently she sort of overhears the guy talking about like what he's going to do and everything, and like breaks it off, and then she sort of she doesn't really like fall in love with Kintarou in a way, but she
admires what he did for her.
Well, she says she's like a florist in training. She says she wants to make a bouquet of flowers for the man she loves, and then at the end of the episode she's trying to give a bouquet of flowers to Kintarou, but she can't really do it. But Kintarou sort of clocks the sort of sentiment behind it all. And I think it is sort of the subtext is she's falling in love with Kintarou, and then he moves on, and we move on to the fourth episode, which is the swimming episode.
Has the most infamous scene.
And we'll talk about
all
that.
Of like comedy anime.
We've got so Kintarou he's just cycling down the street. It's middle of winter, and he sees this beautiful woman. She goes into a building, and it's a swimming pool.
Yeah,
she's a swimming instructor, and he begs for a job there. And then they're like, okay, yeah, cool, let's see how you can swim. This is where the most infamous scene is. In a very serious fashion, he steps up to the sort of the platform to dive off to start his lap of swimming. He jumps in, and he proceeds to pretty much drown his way to the other end. And as soon as his fingertip touches the end of the swimming pool, how do you like my swimming?
How do you like my swimming?
Obviously, it's a swimming instructor. They say like, no, you're trash. He then challenges the woman to a swim off in a month's time, and if he wins, he gets a job as a swimming instructor. If he loses, she can do whatever she wants to him for 1 year.
And he's trying to make it a win-win situation. Like, it's just like, this
Yeah,
guy's
no,
so
he is.
perverted.
And then it's sort of like he's sort of like the other instructors are helping him train, and he's sort of like doing
teaching the kids as well.
He's doing like baby classes, like trying to get them used to the water and everything. They don't actually have the race, but there's a bit where they swim together, and he sort of
swims right up into her butt.
Yeah, his face goes right into her crotch, and there's a sucking motion.
Oh my
He
Lord.
then gets fired from this job, which he then subsequently moves on to his next location, going into episode 5. However, a parent of one of the kids wants to talk to the head coach, the lady, and she's saying, "Oh, my daughter was afraid of water. Now she loves swimming." And they find out it was Kintarou, and she also finds out from the other coaches that Kintarou like created games to get the kids under the ring game to get the kids underwater and everything.
Yeah.
So she's sort of like, because he says like, the first job is to make them love the water, and she sort of has like a flashback, because you find out as well that she's a gold medal Olympic
like
swimmer,
a champion of like
so
that
like
year.
he was never going to win the race.
Never.
And then it sort of moves on from there. She falls in love with him, blah blah blah, and then we go on to episode 5. Now episode 5 is an interesting one.
Episode 5 is probably where it toes the line the hardest it's ever done so far.
Yes, so it's a bit of a weird episode, this one.
Yeah, so
he kind of encounters a girl, a really like good-looking girl on a motorcycle.
yeah.
He then ends up sort of following her, but then he loses her, and then he starts working at
It's like a temple? Yeah, like a temple sort of thing, like an old sort of Japanese temple.
Yeah, if you picture one of them sort of like
like shogunates and all those kind of things.
like a nice sort of like ornate
it's like
tent.
Edo period, like Japan. Boom, boom, boom. You know
And
what I mean?
then he's sort of working there, and there's a beautiful girl that is there as well. He subsequently gets fired from that job. I'm not 100% sure what he does.
No, he was. I think the girl caught him. The princess caught him like sniffing the toilet seat, as you know.
Yes. No, you're right.
Can I add something as well? Just throughout this whole anime, it takes a lot from a classic style of like sort of Fleischer style animation, like from the 1930s, where a lot of the freeze frames tell a lot of like the story. Like there's moments where he'll get caught doing something and his face will change. Like, you know, like SpongeBob, where like they'll have like a random like few frames of someone looking very hyper realistic, uncanny valley.
Oh yeah. They do that.
There's a lot of that in the anime. And I'm thinking,
so
that
in
is
episode
brilliant.
4, where he turns around and goes, "How do you like my swimming?" It's like super hyper realistic.
It's like some Ren and Stimpy, like hyper realistic shit.
Oh yeah, that's a very good thing about the style. They do that a lot. They kind of dumb it down to like really sort of kiddie animation, and then really buff it up to like super like high animation.
It literally will go from like one moment it looks like the worst episode of Shin-Chan to the next moment it looks like a proper beautiful frame from Akira. Like it's really random, but I love it. That's what really gets me about this anime.
No, you're not wrong. That is true, and I think it adds to the comedy of it, definitely.
Oh, for sure, because you don't see it coming. Like
no. It's so fast, like a snap.
Exactly.
But with episode 5, he gets fired from the job. He then believes there's something weird going on, so he stakes out the temple. He then sees the princess. Is she a princess?
She's like a princess or like some sort of like figurehead for like the temple.
Yeah. So he sees her leave quite early in the morning. He follows her and he realizes she's the girl on the bike. I failed to mention this before. The first time he meets her, she sort of uses the vibration of the revving bike to kind of
get herself off
by sort of placing her pelvis on the machine. And so that was at the beginning of the episode. When he follows her, she's naked,
bucket naked,
on top of the bike doing the same thing. She then clocks Kintarou. He comes in and she's saying no man can ever make her feel the way her Bimo baby
she calls the bike the Bimo baby. Good
can make her feel. And they sort of have a race.
It's like around the mountain,
around the
cliffside,
yeah. And she's sort of like, no man can beat my Bimo baby, blah blah blah. And I mean, this is probably the highest action bit of the entire anime.
Like those animes really exposing like, hey yo, listen, we're not just comedy guys. We can do some action too.
And yeah, then there's a mass. So I don't know if we ever mentioned this. Is Kintarou, he gets everywhere on a bike.
Yes, that is the biggest thing. Like he has a mountain bike. I can't remember what it's called. There's a name for it, but he has a mountain bike and he goes everywhere. And like when you see him ride this bike, it's quick. Like he's really, cutting.
But he's racing a woman on a motorbike. But he goes some next way. He ends up on the fucking power lines at one point, and then he jumps this massive gorge where I'm assuming a bridge is being built.
Yeah.
She then is like, oh my god, you're an amazing man, but there's nothing I can do. You're dead. He then appears on the other side. He's cleared the jump, and she's in love with him.
He took like some wild Mario Kart like shortcut. The shit was crazy. But the thing is, he doesn't even stop. He just keeps going. He's on to his next location. Study, yeah. Bruh.
And then the final episode is quite a nice little callback to previous episodes, and I'll get into that in a minute. He's working for an animation studio.
Very meta.
Yeah.
Very meta.
Yeah, there's actually a bit in it where they talk about like drawing styles and everything, and it's sort of like really sort of like
just like they show you like how
on the nose of like the animation of Golden Boy itself. But he's working there, and I mean there is sort of like a female interest, but it doesn't really follow the sort of the same as previous episodes, where he sort of like angers her, or sort of she doesn't like him or whatever, and then subsequently she falls in love with him. That doesn't really happen in this one because she's sort of friendly with him throughout the entire thing. I don't know. She does the colouring.
So she colours in each frame.
But he's working at this animation studio, and he's like delivering the cells off to like places and everything. Converses with the artists themselves, with the director of the anime movie. But the sort of storyline for this is the production.
Yeah.
They're saying you have this amount of time to do it. They're like, we're not going to be able to do it in time. So Kintarou calls in favors from the girls of the previous episodes.
So he calls in the graphics lady, the programming lady, to do like some
CGI stuff.
Calls did he call the schoolgirl? What else?
Yes, because they need voice actors, and he has a funny line in it. He goes, "Don't worry, I know a few girls that are good at faking it."
Oh my god. What does he do for the third woman? She cooks
for the artists because they're not eating nutritiously. And then the swimming instructor, they record her swimming because there's obviously a swimming.
She needs like a reference for like some scene. Motorcycle lady gets from back to forth really quickly.
Yeah, to get the cells from their place on drawings from place to place. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it sort of ends with them all watching it in a cinema, and he can see all the artists and animation studio people kind of watching it, and they're all kind of hands in face, and he's like, oh shit, they don't like it. So he dips.
So guys, I just want to add, like, if you do like a lot of creative stuff, like you're really like the own worst sort of critique when it comes to like, like even when I'm like editing this podcast, some shit just doesn't sound right. I'm like, fuck.
You just have to get on.
You have to get on with it. Like, I wish I could like knew how to edit voices properly. But anyway, carry on.
Yeah. So he sees them sort of, and he goes, oh shit, it's bad. So he dips. He leaves. And then the anime finishes. It's an anime movie, and the anime movie finishes.
It's like a test viewing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And all the girls that helped are there, and they're all clapping, cheering, going, "Oh my god, that was amazing!" And the director's like, "Okay, that's good." And then the actual mangaka who designs that, he's like, "Oh my god, this is exactly what I visioned. This is amazing." Blah blah blah. And then they kind of turn around and we're like, Kintarou's gone, and all the girls are like, "He's done it again!"
They all chase after him.
They all chase after him, and it sort of ends with them chasing him. But the sort of the girl that he works with at the animation studio, she sort of realizes that she now kind of loves Kintarou because like the way he helped out, and I think there's a bit when she's sort of talking about how her job is so insignificant compared to the others, and he's sort of saying, no, without the colour it's like
exactly
blah blah blah. And that's kind of Golden Boy. I mean, we've gone through each episode
literally
here.
Like we've just given you like the cliff notes.
There's a lot of jokes in there that we won't go into, but it's a highly funny anime.
Oh guys, I know we just explained the plot like on some Wikipedia type shit, but please watch it anyway because the jokes really make that anime complete. Like you need to see the scenes.
And I think the Kintarou is a very fantastic character as well.
He's hilarious.
What I will want to do though is I just want to do very quickly 1 to 6. What are your favorite episodes?
Okay.
So for me, I'm saying episode 4, the swimming one, number 1.
Number 1.
Number 1, episode 4. Do you want to do it one by one, or should we do it?
Favorite episode? Episode number 1.
Okay.
Love that episode. That episode just
It's a good episode.
hilarious.
So for me, it's 4. Then I would say it's between. It's a difficult one. I would say 1 next. Yeah, I would say 1. I would say 4, then 1.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say?
I'm gonna say so. It's 1, 4.
Okay.
And my last one will probably be 6.
Do the rest.
Oh shit! Sorry. 1, 4, 6.
Oh, so okay. Yeah, just do them all. Just do them all.
Yeah, episode 1, episode 4, episode 6, episode 3. Yeah, episode 3.
It's the noodle one. Yeah.
And episode 5, episode 2.
Okay, I'd go 4, 1, 3, 5, 6, 2.
Okay.
2 for me, just because it's like a schoolgirl and it's just like it. When you watch it, it's okay. It's good, and I like the way she sort of power plays it a bit. But when you kind of think, how old is she?
Yeah,
It makes it a bit awkward viewing. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It is a bit awkward. Like it didn't dawn on me until like when I was getting towards the end. I was like, oh wait, that was a schoolgirl.
Yeah, it's a bit. It's a bit meh. Yeah. And I really like episode 3 as well because it adds like a bad guy into it.
Yeah.
Which we don't have in any other episode.
Oh no.
Which is that's why. Number 1 is great because it's like the first. What I will say, which we haven't talked about, is the theme song.
The theme song is like
the theme song slaps.
It really does slap, and it's not. And the thing is, you'll think like if I'm getting into an ecchi, I'm getting into a comedy, it's gonna be some goofy shit. No, it feels like I'm about to watch a sport anime.
Yeah, because it starts off with him sort of getting on his bike, and then it's just him riding his bike for like a minute and a half.
It's a long intro,
but there's no singing, there's no lyrics, there's no vocals. It's just instrumental. The whole
honestly,
time.
It felt like I was about to watch like Hajime no Ippo. Like I really felt like that.
It's quite a happy, upbeat sort of. I mean, if you take anything away from today, guys, even though we've completely spoiled almost 30-year anime, go listen to the theme song.
Go listen to the theme song.
Go listen to the theme song. You'll kind of get the vibe of Kintarou.
It's very
that
90s.
Theme song is very Kintarou as well.
It's very 90s as well.
It's very 90s as well.
Like it definitely feels like I'm about to fucking watch like some Olympic sports shit, like on like the black box cable box and shit. Like it feels like that. Let's get into rating these episodes, like scoring these episodes.
Oh, scoring the episodes or scoring it as a whole?
Oh. Do you want to do the episodes first, then do it as a whole?
Well, we usually score it as a whole, don't we? We didn't score every individual episode of Vinland Saga.
Oh, no, fuck that. Okay, all right, let's get into scoring.
I mean, if I was to say, I would do it as a whole, I think.
Let's do it as a whole.
Because
okay.
I think there's a bit of a disparity in the episodes. So, actually, no, here we go. So, your favourite episode was number 1.
Yeah.
And your least favourite was number
2.
So, mine was 4 and 2. So, what would you give the score of number 1? And score of number 1 and score of number 2. So number 1 is the computer programming one. Number 2 is the schoolgirl one, and mine is 4 being the swimming one, and then the schoolgirl one.
Episode 1, I am going to give it. I'm gonna give it like a 9 out of 10.
Okay, so I would give episode 4 a 9 out of 10 as well.
Yeah, because it really set up everything for me. It got me accustomed to like the jokes, and the pacing, and what it going on, and they were just really funny to me. It was hilarious. Like just
I just, for me, episode 4, because of that whole "How do you like my swimming?" I think that's what got me. That's what got me into it, and I just hold it into high esteem. I do agree. I like number 1 is a very close second for me, but because we've both picked number 2 for our least favorite one, I mean, off the bat, I would say it's like a 6.
Yeah.
I mean, I would even teeter with a 5.
I'm gonna give it a 6.
Only because I like what it does, but if the girl was like a college student,
better.
You could have done the exact same plot, but she was a college student, and it would have been a much better rating. It's just, it kind of leaves a bit of a weird aftertaste after you kind of laugh at it.
I gotta wash my hands off a little bit. I gotta wash my hands.
I mean, she's as perverted as him in a sense as
very
well.
Much. She
invites it quite a lot.
Yeah.
But no, as a whole, what are we giving Golden Boy?
I'm going to give Golden Boy. I'm gonna give it an 8.
I agree. I would give Golden Boy an 8 out of 10.
I'm going to give it a solid 8 out of 10. Bearing
in mind, it's 6 episodes, but I don't think the number of episodes should even come into it. I know we're not necessarily going as well because of how dated it looks or how bad I mean, listen, for us, fellas, I think we are tinted a little bit with nostalgia for
little bit, but listen, size doesn't matter. It's about the motion in the ocean, guys.
There we go. Very Kintarou, very Golden Boy this.
You see what I mean?
Very tongue-in-cheek there.
Very tongue-in-cheek.
Innuendo.
Look,
but no, I agree. I think an 8 out of 10 is very fair. And I just want to say, I don't want no one going, well, you gave Vinland Saga a 7 out of 10. Listen, guys, Golden Boy feels more of a sort of, each episode you can watch in isolation. You don't even have to watch them in order.
Technically, you don't. Except for the last episode.
6 you'd have to watch last. You can watch them in any order you want. And that's what I like. They're on their own, they're great. As a collective, they're fantastic.
I want to say something about just how people are going to interpret the scores and so on and so forth.
By the way, we're doing this sort of just how we're feeling.
Well, it's not even just that. We score animes based on what we feel that, well, I'm going to talk for myself. I don't know how you would do it. I score animes based on how I feel the anime has, what it's set out to achieve. If it's going to be like Vinland Saga is a very visceral type
also as well, war, that we know that's going to be a lot longer.
We're going to notice, well, length also plays into it. We also think about
I think
pacing. We're thinking about character development. We're thinking about, what it's building up to.
We're looking at different markers, aren't we, really?
Exactly.
There's different markers to scoring both. So
different hoops to jump through.
Exactly. This one is a lot more... Golden Boy, sorry, I don't want to say this one. Golden Boy is a lot more fluid with it.
Well, comedy is still very difficult to pull off because it's very subjective.
It is, and to be fully honest with you, there's people out there that will probably find this quite crude. Quite crude.
Like, listen, guys.
It's very tongue-in-cheek. I mean, do you know what I'm going to say? Because I think a lot of people know of Shin-chan.
Yes.
If you like Shin-chan, you will like Golden Boy.
Yeah, Shin-chan is definitely like your dad's version of Golden Boy is definitely your dad's version of Shin-chan.
Yes, 100%. It's very sort of I was going to say toilet humor because that's like a pun because he's like always on a toilet. But it's sort of like, it's very sort of adulty, sort of like very tongue-in-cheek humor. And I mean, we're big kids. We love this shit.
Yeah, we're grown men. Like you know what I mean? We love the shit. That's what I'm saying. So just regarding the score,
I think an 8 out of 10 is fair.
I think an 8 out of 10 is fair.
I think giving it any higher would be giving it a disservice to other animes that we will probably be reviewing in the future.
I think it'd just be dishonest because
it's not a 9 out of 10.
It's not a 9 out of 10 because I feel like it needs a little bit more length.
And I also think 7 out of 10 is too harsh.
I think 7 out of 10 is a little harsh because it definitely made me laugh a lot.
Yeah.
I definitely felt
it's also the enjoyment of it.
Exactly. I enjoyed the anime a lot as well. I thought it jumped through a lot of the hoops that I wanted it to jump through.
But I'll say this as well, guys. If you don't agree with our scoring, comment.
Hey, guys.
Let us know.
We are not the arbiter for good taste.
At us and tell us your scores.
Exactly. We are not like...
We're just giving you our own opinions.
We're just two dudes.
Anime connoisseurs, best friends, Jamie and Shaq.
We just be watching
We're giving Golden Boy an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
And I think we should just move on to... So, have you been watching or reading anything else this month, Shaq? I know you've been very busy this month.
Unfortunately, I've been very busy, so I haven't really been able to get stuck into a lot of manga related stuff or much anime related stuff.
No, because last month you were talking about you were reading some Mashal.
I was reading some Mashal. I did read a couple more chapters.
Read a little bit more.
It's cool. I still like it. I still think it's cool. I know it's starting to build up about different factions of like in the what sort of house they belong to, more characters, more magic, more interesting characters as well. So it's had this little funny phase. It's still keeping the funny.
Yeah, I've so I'm up to date with Mashal, as I probably explained in last episode.
Yeah.
I feel like it's now entering its final arc.
Because
there was something that it said in the last chapter, and I was like, okay, I feel like they're gonna round it up a little bit here.
Yeah.
But again, sort of as you were saying, it's still funny.
It's still funny.
Mash is still like this highly lovable character, and I won't spoil it because you're obviously reading it, but he done like a really great sort of anime trope, or sort of manga anime trope, sort of reminiscence of Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z in a few chapters before, and I loved it because it was like, okay, that's great. But no, I'm loving that. Have you been watching? I know you read Black Clover as well, but I know you're not up to date, so I don't want to say anything.
I'll talk about it anyway. Like,
I don't want to say anything to spoil anything.
All right.
But we're still in this sort of. If there's any anime only watchers here, we won't go into any too details, but we're sort of still on the same arc that it left off in the anime.
Pretty much. So you guys,
I would say it's more at the tail end of it, though.
It should.
I hope so.
It should be.
Because I've said this to you, and I believe I said it in previous episodes. I'm getting fatigued, man.
It's really taking its time. Like, wrap this up. I feel, you know what? It might play out differently in the anime. I feel like it might probably be a bit.
It might be a bit quicker as well, because when they animate like you probably get a few
3 chapters an episode.
And don't get me wrong. The action is very good. I just think it needs to wrap it up now. We've been doing the same fight for like 20 chapters now.
I feel the drawing
feels like
it's getting a little shaky in these recent chapters. I think the last 5 chapters, I felt like the drawing wasn't as
crisp.
Yeah. Like, I don't know what they're doing. Like, I think
we'll get we got
to talk about that off the mic, but I think the drawing's a bit.
I think it might be wrapping up soon, Black Clover.
Hopefully,
and we can talk about it as a whole maybe once it's finished and wrapped up.
You know what? We might be selling our audience a little short. A lot of people do read the manga. Like, some people aren't just.
I know, but I don't, because it's so current. I don't want to ruin it.
Alright.
I don't want to ruin it for people.
Jujutsu Kaisen movie came out recently, guys. I've been seeing some clips floating around. It looks fucking fire.
I might watch that.
Like I said, we were saying before, you only care about canon.
I don't know if it's canon. If it's canon, I'll watch it. If it's not canon, I'm not too fussed.
Hey, my man, throw that to the side. Just go watch it.
Maybe if we watch it for next month, we can talk about it after the review.
Yeah, you know what? I might watch it end of the month or so,
because we can talk about it in this section in next month's. But have you been watching or reading anything else? Or I know you've been busy.
So I put a little bit of manga aside for a bit. I've been trying to do some comic shit. I know it's not manga, guys. No, it's not anime.
We don't speak of comics. You've been reading Little Wolverine.
Little Wolverine, because I'm just trying to get my comic shit. But I will pick up Mashal again. I always think there was like a random sort of manga that came up on my page. I think it had something to do with like war. I saw some guy with like a fucking assault rifle, and I thought this looked kind of cool.
I'm not sure.
Can't remember what it's called, but anyway, I think I'm gonna go out to Mashal. I'm gonna catch up on Black Clover. I'm gonna try and maybe find something else. I want to get 3 things in rotation just for me. I think that's a healthy balance.
See, I've got so many. A few things have finished though. So since we last spoke, Dr. Stone finished.
Oh, cool.
I finished Dr. Stone. I know I was sort of saying to you sort of the last sort of 10, 15 chapters, they've sort of just been blitzing through it all, like really rushing through it all. The ending kind of leaves on a bit of a cliffhanger.
Oh,
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a massive fan of like sort of the chapters leading up to the direct sort of ending, but the ending is sort of a cliffhanger, and I was like, oh, okay. I don't think they'll do more because it's kind of a nice ending, but it's great.
Fuck, what is it called?
What? Tokyo Revengers?
Yes. Did that finish?
It hasn't finished yet. No.
Okay.
They're in the last big fight.
Okay. Because I know
That's fun.
I know there's a big stink that kicked up on Twitter about how.
I think we spoke about it. I think we spoke about it last episode.
We might have. I don't know if we said it on or off the mic. I can't remember. But I know we.
When it finishes, I think it's going to be finishing maybe in a few more months. So I can get into sort of non-spoiler territory, like reviews of that then. But Dr. Stone is fine. I would say up into the last sort of 10, 15 chapters is amazing. The last 10-15 chapters sort of make it a bit meh because they sort of rush through quite a lot of things.
Yeah.
And then sort of the big enemy is a bit kind of like, oh, okay. But then the ending, as in like the last fucking panel, you're just like, oh, okay. Interesting.
Speaking of interesting, I haven't been reading this, by the way, but I have been keeping my eye on it just every so often. I know you probably won't fuck with this. I've been hearing some good things about the Dragon Ball Super manga. I've been hearing they've been trying little things.
To be honest, I'd rather read it than watch it. That's my motto. I'd rather read it than watch most things.
I'm not at that point yet.
I might read it.
When it comes to me,
as I said, I've got far too many things.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Like when it comes to me and like reading manga right now, I'm still at that stage where I'm like, I'll watch the anime. If the anime is going to take a while to come out, I'll fucking read it and just get it over
then
with.
Why haven't you read My Hero Academia?
I keep forgetting,
that's
bro.
also finishing soon.
I keep forgetting. Like, you know what it is? It's literally, I just got to sit down and tell myself, I'm going to start this. If once I start chapter 1 or whatever chapter I need to start off,
I've no
then
idea
I will read it. That's what happened with me in Attack on Titan. Like, I started chapter whatever I had to start. Because obviously, like, season 4 is going to be decades away or whatever the fuck. So I started reading it. I was like, blitz through. I literally caught up quickly. Did the same thing with Black Clover.
Yeah, no, I know. I got you onto Black Clover quick after it sort of went on. It's on like a hiatus, isn't it, at the moment? Yeah.
All I need to do is just start, and I know I'll catch up. I know My Hero's coming back for season 6? One of those ones. I'm a little bit about it because
it's fucking sick where it is in the manga right now. I would say I think it finishes this year sometime.
Okay. I thought last sort of because we just had that thing with the organization of the villains.
I liked that in the manga. I don't watch. I will watch it when it's finished.
Oh, what, the anime?
Yeah, I can't be asked to watch it now because I'm so far ahead. It's like, it's so boring to go back like 100 chapters.
What happened with me when I did Attack on Titan is that I got up to the recent part, which I haven't finished it by the way, because I got up to where the whole, you can hear about the truth and blah blah blah, blah a little bit into the war, and I just kind of stopped from there. And then when the anime was catching up, I watched like a few key fights. Like I watched the part where they get back the wall. And they're going where Eren's dad's house is and whatever. So I watched that whole part because that was really fucking good. And I've been watching a lot of it with what Mappa's doing because Mappa is really killing it. Like, really killing it. Like, if you've seen Demon Slayer, that shit.
Oh, no. I know.
Good grief. Like, shout out to Mappa, man. They are really holding it down this year with just the shit they're putting out. Chainsaw Man's coming soon, and I know that's going to
I've read that.
godlike. Olivia's been reading it. She likes it.
How far is she into it? Do you know?
I think she's only, because she's got on my tablet, she only read like volume 1.
Oh, I don't know volume. I just know chapters.
That's at least like, what, 5, 6
maybe 10 chapters at most. Yeah.
So she's not that far in it.
Again, that's a super duper ecchi manga as well. Yeah.
Also,
there's some very perverted characters in that.
I bought her some manga. I think it was called House Husband.
Okay.
And she's been liking that one.
Okay.
So I might read that as well. It's literally next door. I might read that. But yeah, that's really been it.
Yeah, for you.
Oh fuck me! I've just been stole your spotlight, man. Sorry about it, man. I talk too much. Go ahead, man.
But no, I haven't been watching anything else. So other than the mangas that I'm reading, the ongoing ones, so like One Piece, Black Clover, My Hero.
I saw you guys talking about One Piece in the chat. Apparently, that chapter was wild.
Fucking hell! The most recent chapter. So this will come out on the Friday when a chapter has been released.
Oh, yeah.
So this will come out, what Friday? What's the date this month? So
it's going to be the 25th.
So this releases on the 25th. The chapter before the 25th of March, which wasn't last week, but the week before. My fucking God, One Piece is goated out there. But I don't want to spoil anything because...
I had a cheeky look. I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, you have no idea.
I just wanted to see, like, what the fuck are they talking about? I just had a glance.
But, so, other than the ongoing ones like One Piece, Black Clover, My Hero, Tokyo Revengers, I know I'm forgetting. Let me get on my manga list.
Oh, my God. This guy.
I have to have a manga list. One Punch Man.
I heard that's really popping off.
I spoke about Chainsaw Man.
I need to rewatch
yes.
Mob Psycho.
Oh, and Mashal.
Okay.
Those are all my ongoing ones. I have... and this is a new ongoing one that I have, which I was telling you before. It's another Korean manga, a manhwa, I believe it's pronounced. If I'm wrong, at me. It's called The Beginning After the End.
Okay.
And this is really good. So it starts off with the main character dying. He dies and he wakes up in a baby's body.
You know what that sounds like? It sounds like some anime I was watching called Platinum End. It's the same people that did Death Note.
It borrows from quite a lot of sort of mechanics and stuff. But he wakes up in like a baby's body where like magic is a thing. And he's sort of like, he has his own mind as like an adult. But he's like born into this family. And it's sort of like his journey, like becoming like he becomes like one of the youngest magic users because like he's like sentient as an adult. And then like he kind of like meets like a dragon and like he bonds with the dragon.
It sounds like what's happening to fucking Julius in Black Clover.
No,
that's not a spoiler, by the way.
No, not at all.
No, like
not at all. No, it's not like that at all, man.
No. Hear me out. It's not
because you're saying that he had time magic, so he'd become a child again. It's not like that at all. He's born into a new world. This guy. It's a completely different world.
Okay. I thought it was never mind.
No, it's a completely different world. Completely different world.
Alright.
But no, it's fun. He kind of bonds with like a dragon and everything, and like he's like has like different magic and everything, and it's like, sort of like his like he kind of skips sort of like ages a little bit. Like he'll focus on like a certain age for a bit, and then sort of skip up like a couple of years. I mean, I'm not really giving it justice explaining it, but it
sounds interesting.
It's fantastic.
Like I said, I just need to just catch up on some shit. So
and I've also been reading Soul Eater.
Yes, you were saying.
And the reason I've been reading Soul Eater is because I wanted to read Fire Force, but I heard at the end of Fire Force, because that's now finished, there's a Soul Eater crossover because it's the same. It's the same mangaka that done Soul Eater that does Fire Force. So I was like, I want to read Soul Eater because I watched the manga, but the manga doesn't. I watched the manga. I watched the anime, but the anime doesn't cover all of the manga. So I thought, I'm going to read it, then I'm going to read Fire Force. And apparently there's another one coming after that the guy's doing. I can't remember what that's called. But yeah, no, I'm enjoying Soul Eater. I'm like 15 chapters through it. It's really fun. It's so fun. Like it's quite ecchi as well, like talking about like Golden Boy and even Chainsaw Man. But no, it's fun. It's so fun.
Okay.
And finally, and this is going to be a very quick segment, the at the end of this podcast, we always have Shaq's One Piece update. And I have said, guys, he's been really busy this month.
Guys, let me give
Shaq, how much One Piece have you watched? I haven't
touched it in like a month, bro. And guys, you know what? Let me just give you a rundown. I do want to watch it, so it'll be times where I'm like,
time, isn't it?
It's not even just that. Like, it's partly because I'm busy, but I will say to Olivia, "Yo, we need to watch One Piece," and she's like, I'm really like, she's burnt out because of the Alabasta arc went on for a long time and she's just not feeling it. And I'm like, yo, please, because like I don't want to watch it without you, and then now I'm like episodes ahead of you, and then you can't catch up. But like I'm trying to push her to watch it with me again because I do want to get with it. I'm like, you know, it's been like a whole month I hadn't touched it.
You do.
So I want to do it.
Next month, I want a One Piece guys. Do we not want a One Piece update from Shaq next month?
Listen, like I said, guys, I know everyone tells me that this anime is the best in the world.
We're getting a One Piece update from you next month.
Listen, guys, I know One Piece is good. I've just been busy. I've been watching other stuff and trying to like watch all the things so I can bring content to the thing here.
To the pod.
You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, you know, I'm trying to make sure that I'm trying to be up to date, man. But I'm adult.
So nothing this month.
Unfortunately,
next month
I'm gonna put my best foot down.
I'm not even gonna make you promise.
No, it's no promises.
No promises.
I want to do this. I want to go and watch it. So just been busy.
We potentially will hear a One Piece update from Shaq next month.
Yes, you know, I'm gonna at least get in at least 10 episodes to try and have something.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Let's do it. I think that wraps up today's episode. Guys, thank you for listening to today's episode of the Anime Critique.
Anime Critique. If you enjoyed this episode of the Anime Critique, make sure to follow all the social media links and stuff. Subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. We got the feedback stuff as well. Oh, wait, you got that? Oh, Sorry, you want to say something?
I have an outro.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
You just hijacked my outro.
Sorry, man. Do your thing, man. Do your thing. Here's an assist. Here's an assist. I wrote it to you.
I will rewind it back. Put a fucking rewind in this.
Do it, man. Do it.
Guys, thank you for listening to today's episode of the Anime Critique. Do you agree with our score? Have you any suggestions of what we should watch next? Why not email us your thoughts, suggestions, and scores at thebetwixtideasfeedback@gmail.com. Make sure to follow our Twitter at Betwixt Ideas, our Instagram at the Betwixt Ideas Podcast, and our TikTok at the Betwixt Ideas Podcast. We will see you next month for the next episode. Thank you and goodbye.
Goodbye, guys. Have a good one now.